All right, hello again, everybody. This is Riley with the Riley Reform channel, and yeah, today we're going back to Facebook Marketplace, and more specifically, today we are going to be taking a look at how to ship items on Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah, I know like shipping items on Facebook Marketplace can be kind of a scary thing at first, especially if you've never done it, but I would highly recommend that whenever you try to sell something on Facebook that you consider using the shipping option, because honestly the exposure that the shipping option gives you far outweighs the negatives, and turning this on will help you sell items quicker, which I talked about in my other video, how to sell items faster on Facebook Marketplace, which you should definitely check out. In my video about how to sell items faster on Facebook Marketplace, I discussed the idea of turning on this feature, and in this video I'm actually going to show you how to turn this on. So it's pretty simple, so I'm kind of just gonna get to the point and show you how to do this on a phone. I'm not going to show you how to do it on a desktop because disclaimer, kind of before this video, I never even used Facebook Marketplace on my computer, at least not to actually list something. So that was kind of a new experience for me. And to be honest, I think that most people are just using Facebook on their phone. Like, how many people log into Facebook on a desktop? I would say probably not that many. Like, the only time I would log into Facebook on my desktop is if I was at work or something, maybe. But that's about it. So in terms of this video, I'm just going to show you how to open your phone and do everything on the phone. So make sure you have Facebook installed on your phone. However, the steps are basically the exact same for doing it on a desktop. It's just one is with your finger and then one is with a mouse. So yeah, steps pretty much the same. If you have an iPad or like a tablet, that's also the same as a phone. So yeah, I will get into it in a minute. A couple things quick that I did want to mention is that if somebody actually buys something that you list through Facebook Marketplace, at least through the shipping method, the buyer does have to pay their local sales tax. So I live in Wisconsin, so for me, for example, that's 5.5%. And then they do have to also pay for shipping unless you change a setting, which I will show you in a minute. But then out of that purchase price, and this is how Facebook kind of receives some money from this, is that they will take a fee of 5% per shipment, or like a flat fee of 40 cents for shipments of $8 or less. So yeah, I mean, if you sell something that's $100, Facebook is going to take $5 out of that $100. So you have to consider whether or not that's worth it to you as well. On top of, you know, tax gets taken out and everything too. So yeah, keep all that in mind. If you think that's worth it, and I definitely think it's worth it because you could sell the items faster, it's worth it to have the shipping option turned on. Facebook does also allow certain categories or like certain options for shipping things. So I'm not going to mention all of the categories because there's a lot of categories, but and I'll list them like here, for example. But or some of the items kind of include like auto parts, baby, kids stuff, bags, books, movies, music. You can't sell digital music, just like physical music, so like a record or something. You could sell clothing and shoes or electronics or computers or phones or video games, things like that. You get the idea, kind of like smaller ticket items, like not huge items. Like you can't sell your boat through Facebook Marketplace shipping. You could sell it on Facebook Marketplace, but you just can't turn on shipping, so that's kind of defeating the purpose of this video. Also keep in mind, you can't sell like big expensive ticket items through Facebook Marketplace. You could only sell things between $1 and $500, so you're gonna want to keep that in mind as well. If you're selling, like for example, I kind of struggled to sell my old MacBook because I wanted to sell it for like $700, but I couldn't do that on Facebook Marketplace shipping because it caps you at $500, which I hate, to be honest. It's kind of more of an inconvenience than anything, but you're gonna want to keep that in mind as well. So if you're selling something, you can't listed as more than $500. Okay, so now I have my phone, and like I mentioned, you want Facebook installed. I feel like that's kind of obvious. If you want to use Facebook, you need it installed on your phone, and you want Facebook, not Messenger. So open Facebook, and then there's a bunch of tabs at the bottom. So there's like Home and Watch and Marketplace and Profile. Well, this is a video about Facebook Marketplace, so you're going to want to open Facebook Marketplace. So click Facebook Marketplace down there. And then at the top, there is sell. So you're gonna wanna click sell. And then you can see down here, my last payout was $12. If you haven't sold anything yet, that will not see anything, I don't think. You also are gonna wanna connect your bank account, which I think comes up when you try to do this. So just follow the steps. You know, you're gonna need your bank routing number and your account number, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to click create listing at the top. And then items, vehicles, or homes. Well, you can't ship a vehicle or a house, so you're gonna wanna click items. And it has to be within the categories that I mentioned earlier. A little while ago, I sold something for my dad. It was like a hard-sided bow case that he didn't need anymore. He wanted me to sell it for him, and he's old and doesn't have Facebook. So I sold it for him. So I'm going to recreate that listing real quick. So I'm gonna click add photos. So, you know, you're gonna wanna add the photos already. And then let's see here. So I'm gonna click the items of the bow case that I took. I click the pictures of the bow case. You can see I added them at the top here. Blah, 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 good stuff. Okay, title. I'm just gonna say bow case. And basically for this video, I'm just going to kind of skip over most of this. Like if you wanna know how to actually list something, I made another video for that. This is just about shipping. So I think we sold it for $50. Condition, you have to put a condition. So I'm gonna put it like new. And obviously this is not real. I'm just doing a test run for the purpose of this video. So I entered the price, the description, the condition, and the title. That's kind of all you need to be able to ship it, but I would recommend filling out all these other options here as well. Then you're gonna want to click next. Okay, and then delivery method. So this is where you can choose shipping. So on Facebook, there's two options for shipping. So there is shipping and local pickup, shipping only, and then local pickup only. So if you're not aware, local pickup is like, okay, somebody messages you and you're doing local pickup, like you either tell them pick this up at my house, or if you're not comfortable with somebody picking something up at your house, you can say like, oh, meet me at the local gas station, and then you meet there. And then like when I would meet somebody, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm in the red car, I'm in the orange car, or whatever car I have, right? That's what local pickup is. You're meeting somebody in public. Primarily you probably want to do public just to stay safe, because I mean you never know. We're gonna do shipping and local pickup. I would recommend this. I've done local pickup quite a few times and I've never had a problem with it. You know, if something happens to you, I'm sorry. You know, maybe there's an example of somebody doing local pickup and getting murdered. I don't know. I mean, that could have happened. I'm sorry if it does, but I'm gonna do shipping and local pickup. You will see it auto fills the shipping method, but this is not always the best option. You want to go into this. So under shipping method, you click this. And then this is great. So you have a few options. You have use a prepaid shipping label, and then you have use your own shipping label. So I believe there's other websites where you can like sign up for a shipping label or something, like a third party. I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna use a prepaid shipping label. And then package details. So you are probably going to want to estimate, you know, like kind of what weight you want. So you don't want to be under the weight, because if you're under the weight, you have to pay the difference. So you want to make sure that if anything, you're over like the recommended weight of the item. And they kind of do groups of things. So like a phone is 0.5 to 1 pound, a dress is 1 to 2 pounds, some shoes is 2 to 5, a computer is 5 to 10. Based on those items, you kind of get an idea of like how much something would weigh. An empty bow case is not that heavy, so I would just go like 5 to 10 probably. But if you have maybe a scale, you can input the exact weight, and then sometimes this might be cheaper than doing the other method of the grouping, because with the grouping it always goes with the highest amount of weight, like 5 to 10 pounds. Let's say for example the item was 7 pounds. If you put in 7, the shipping would be cheaper than the 10, if that makes sense. So I'll just keep the computer, and that looks good. Okay, and then there's shipping carriers. Based on the weight of the item, sometimes this can change. So generally USPS for lighter items, so like things that are maybe like a couple pounds, USPS is generally cheaper. But for heavier things, UPS ground is actually cheaper. I would recommend just picking the cheapest one, as long as both of the shipping carriers are in in your city, you know, like you don't have to drive like to a different city to drop it off. But yeah, if they're both there, I would just pick the cheaper one. And then there's an option to cover the shipping cost, so buyers see free shipping. Now there's a few things you could do with this, okay? So if you sell an item for $55 and the shipping is $5, and then you put free, that would be the same as putting $50 and charging shipping. So it's kind of like, how do you want it presented? I think people don't like paying for shipping. If you're able to include the shipping price and the cost of the item when somebody buys it, I think that's a better option. So if you're selling something for $100, make it $105 and then check free shipping, and then it will look a little better in my opinion, because nobody likes paying for shipping. You know, I'm sure there's some psychology class or something for this, but yeah, I would check this box if the item is expensive enough. If you're selling something that's $10, I mean, yeah, just uncheck it. So it's like, do you want the buyer to have free shipping or not? And then you can click close. Okay, and then down under that, it says your estimated payout. Let's say that the item is $50. The shipping fee and the shipping cost gets deducted out of that. So I would only make $30 while the buyer would pay over $50 because they also have to pay for shipping. So yeah, like I said, in this case, it might not be the best to charge for shipping. It's kind of on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, then you click next, and then it allows you to allow offers. So when somebody buys something, they can put in an offer and enter in a lower number than what the actual price is. I would recommend doing this. So let's say that, you know, it's $50. I would recommend putting 40 in. And then that way, if somebody comes along and is like, oh, I want to pay 45, well, then that gives them an option to do that. So I think that's nice. So yeah, that is how to basically post something with shipping on Facebook Marketplace. So I hope that's helpful. So then once somebody buys your item, an option will come up to review the order, and then you can confirm the order, which then changes the item from pending to sold. So kind of once the item is sold, you want to find a box to put it in. You can print out the shipping label, so you also need a printer. You know, you slap that on the box, get it to UPS, FedEx, or whatever shipping method you choose, and get on your way to getting paid. But payment takes a little while. So once your item finally ships, you don't receive payment right away. So you only receive payment about 2 days after the item is actually delivered to the buyer. So if you're expecting like a quick payout for this method, you're on the wrong website. Between posting the item, waiting for somebody to buy it, waiting to box it up, waiting to drop it off at the shipping carrier, waiting for it to be delivered, and then waiting for your bank to receive and process the payment. This can be more than like 2 weeks for all of this to happen, maybe even a month. So it's definitely not a quick option. You have to wait and be patient. I do believe though that overall the wait is worth it, and I find this method pretty easy, and once you do it like once or twice, you'll get kind of accustomed to how to ship something on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, generally the items that I have shipped sell pretty quickly. They have been electronic type stuff for the most part, which is kind of sought after, but I mean, hey, you know, money is money. So if you can get paid for items that you want to sell and get rid of, that's all good and dandy to me. So yeah, that is everything for me. Thank you all very, very much for watching. This has been Riley with the Riley Reformed channel, and I hope your day is as pleasant as you are, and I also hope to see you in the next video.